Hello, and welcome to Jumpstart Board Games. In this video, I'm going to be talking about all the games I played this month, March 23.
Boing.
Dixit. This game has a lot of cards with very complex and very abstract art. And these pieces of art on the cards can have a lot of different meanings, so you kind of have to look closely to really see what's going on. And you're going to be using these cards to try and get people to guess a certain clue that you're giving. And your clue can be as short or as long as you want it to be. Now, the catch is you want at least one person to guess your card based on the clue, but if everyone guesses it, then you're actually not going to get any points. I really enjoyed this game, and it was fun to see how people think differently and how they interpret the art. I would absolutely love to try this one again. Welcome to the Moon. This is a reveal and write, like a campaign sort of game, where you're doing different missions each time you play. So far, I've played the first 3 missions. The first one I liked. I thought it was interesting. The second one didn't really jive with the way that I think, I guess. And the third one I really enjoyed. It just clicked with the way that I think. And I would love to play that one again. I'm curious to see what the next missions look like, but mission 3 is going to be hard to beat. Dice Town. In this game, you're going to be rolling and re-rolling dice trying to get a good poker hand. And then you're going to be using this poker hand to do things in town. Anything you want to do in town is going to be based off of your poker hand. You're going to be trying to accumulate money, gold, and property to win the game. The game's called Dice Town, and there are a lot of dice in the game, so of course it's a very lucky game. There are things that you can do to try and mitigate the luck though. And it's a relatively short game, so the luck really doesn't bother me very much. I actually rather enjoyed it. I thought it was a neat game, and I hope I get to play it again soon. Explorers is a reveal and write game, where you're going to be trying to make your way across the map. There are multiple ways that you can get from one point to another and actually expand throughout the map. Everyone that I've played this with really enjoyed it. And it's one of those games that has been really hyped up, and I finally got to play it, and I can see why it's so hyped up, and to me it lived up to that hype. Get Lucky. In this game, you're going to be trying to build up a character so that you can take out Dr. Lucky. I'm not really sure who this Dr. Lucky guy is, but he must not be a very nice dude, because everybody's trying to take him out. I really didn't understand this game until the very end. Generally, the way the game worked is you're trying to make an attempt to win, and then whenever you attempt to win the game, other people are trying to stop you from winning the game. But when you try and stop someone from winning the game, it weakens you and makes it where it's more difficult for you to win the game and also to stop other people from winning the game. So it's kind of like a weird, timing sort of thing. I would like to play it again now that I have a little bit of a better understanding of it. But it's definitely a tough one to sort of wrap your head around. Glory to Rome. This is a hand management tableau game. You're gathering resources to build up your infrastructure. I had a difficult time understanding this game, but after a couple rounds, it kind of clicked and I finally got it and started to enjoy the game. I managed to build up a nice engine, but my timing was really off and I didn't really get much of a chance to actually use the engine that I built. I would definitely like to play this one again and maybe this time actually use the engine that I build. Gugong is a point salad hand management game where you're using cards kind of like workers in a worker placement game. And generally when you place a card, it has to be a higher value than the existing card. And then you take the card that you've displaced and put it in your discard pile. This was a very unique game with a lot of interesting decisions. Hell Hydra. This game's been collecting dust on my shelf for a while now. I picked it up for $5 on a clearance sale, and I wanted to at least play it once before I got rid of it. And I played it, and the people that I played it with seemed to enjoy it. We only played the basic version of the game, but everyone seemed pretty interested in doing the normal or advanced version of the game where you actually get to use the hero's powers. So I'm going to keep it in my bag and try and get it played with the normal advanced mode and see if it's worth keeping in the collection. I love social deduction games. I enjoy Marvel. A lot of the people that I play with like Marvel. So it may find a place to kind of stay in my collection. We'll have to see. Galapagos. This game is turning into a go-to for a higher player count game. Some of the people I play with kind of have a hard time breaking up into smaller groups, so a lot of times we tend to play larger player count games. And my theory is the more we play Galapagos, the more we're going to hate each other and have less of an issue splitting up into smaller groups. This game starts as a co-op until we start running low on food and water, and then things become a bit more competitive as we're trying to figure out who's going to do without. In the game, you're trying to survive long enough to get enough rafts so that you can get off of the island. I think maybe when I played it last month, some people had some unsavory memories of maybe the way I behaved, and they might have had that, in their minds, because it kind of seemed like there might have been a bit of a target on my head. And this game did not turn out very well for me. I was taken out pretty early in the game, but I gotta say, I think I deserved it. I think I may need to try and redeem my reputation the next time I play this game. Horrified is a cooperative put out fires sort of game. You're going to be going around trying to take out Universal Studios monsters. We played it at an easy difficulty, and I think it might have been a bit too easy for our group, and it kind of fell a little flat for me. I think I'd really like to play it again at a higher difficulty, and I think it would be a bit more interesting. I've done a jumpstart guide for this game. I'll put a link down in the description if you're interested. Love Letter. Technically, we didn't actually finish the game. This is a game that I've learned and tried to play online, but it didn't really click for me. I was thinking that maybe if I play it in real life, that it'll kind of make more sense. And after playing like one round of it, I gotta say, I still don't really get the game. I think I would really like to play like a full game and like have someone kind of like explain it to me. It's not so much the rules. It kind of reminds me of Skull in a way. It's a very basic game, but I don't really get it. But it's a very popular game, so there's got to be something there. So I'm hoping I get to play Love Letter again. Marrakech. I love this game. It has a lot of strong Monopoly vibes for me. It has, really cute components in the game. You're rolling, moving, and placing down carpets on the board to claim your territory. If people land on your territory, they have to pay you money. The bigger your territory, the more money they have to pay you. I will never say no to playing this game. I have a jumpstart guide for this one also, and I'll leave a link down in the description. Marvel Trivia Game. This one honestly isn't a very good game, but I picked it up for like 50 cents at a thrift store, and we kind of made the most of it. We sort of house ruled it a little bit, and we were playing with some people who know Marvel pretty well, and there were questions on there that really stumped them, but there were also really, really easy questions on there. So it was like a wide variety of like difficulty in the questions. I think it's fun. I think maybe I could come up with some other ways to sort of house rule it and gamify it a bit more. But for 50 cents, I mean, I think we got our money's worth out of it. Mice and Mystics. This is a cooperative dungeon crawl game. It's very straightforward, not too complicated. The artwork is really cute, and it's kind of a fun story. This is one of those games where I can't really put my finger on it, but it just feels good to play it. I would be interested in playing this one again and see where the story goes. Puns of Anarchy. In this game, you have cards and you're using a dry erase marker to modify those cards to try and make it say something that's funny or clever. Each player has a category in front of them, and after you modify your card and make a pun out of it, you're placing it on that category. And after a certain amount of time, everyone looks at the cards that are placed on their category and they choose which one they like best. I played this one a few times, and I feel like a lot of the puns you kind of keep seeing over and over again. It's pretty challenging to come up with unique, ideas for puns to do that are also, clever or funny. I think the game has potential with maybe a few more house rules, but honestly, it's not that enjoyable for me anymore. The Red Dragon Inn. This is a dumb, silly take that game, and I love it. This game is very random. You'll get slapped around by your opponents, but it's very straightforward and doesn't really take that long. And the artwork is great. I love all the very unique characters. And a friend I play with just got like the big box and is planning on filling it up with all the expansions. So definitely looking forward to playing this one again. Red Flags. This is one of those play funny card games. Generally, I'm not a big fan. This time we played with a couple of expansions and I enjoyed it a lot more. So as long as I'm playing with some expansions, I'm going to try not to turn my nose up to it too high. Role player. You're drafting dice and placing them to try and meet your goals. You are collecting cards to try and manipulate the game state and gain points. I'm not a big D&D fan, but I find it really interesting learning about the different races and the different qualities and aspects that you can have of characters. And I had no idea that there's robots in D&D, apparently, which I thought was pretty cool. That was the character that I played as. Categories. In this game, you're going to be starting with a category, and then you have a limited amount of time, and you're writing one word that matches each letter of the category. This game is a destroyer of friendships. We played this game, we had some very heated discussions. It was definitely a divider of our group. I did really enjoy this game, arguments and all. It's kind of fun trying to write as much stuff as you can in a limited amount of time. It was interesting to see, like, with some categories, people were, just writing them down really quickly, didn't have any problems. Whereas with other categories, you might just have no idea what to write, and then other people are having an issue with it. I love games that just kind of make you acknowledge the fact that we all think a little bit differently. But here's the question I have for you. Can a rock fit into a bread box? I mean, really. Space Team is a fun, chaotic, real-time cooperative game where you're flipping over cards, trying to solve problems, and hopefully able to build your ship. This is kind of a go-to for me at the end of the night where you don't have a lot of time. You can grab it, throw it on the table, and just play it until they kick you out. Which is what they usually do to us, is kick us out. I enjoy this game because it really forces you to really pay attention to the things you're seeing, to the things you're hearing. It's all in real time. So you're really, can be a bit stressful trying to pay attention to all of these people trying to talk at the same time and telling you what their needs are. And you're looking at their cards and you're looking at the timer and you're hoping you can build the ship. It's great. I love it. Spyfall. In this game, all the players but one know the secret location. And the player who doesn't is trying to figure it out. So the majority of the players are trying to subtly let the other players know that they're not the spy and they know where the location is. But if they're too obvious, they're going to let the spy know what the location is. I really enjoy social deduction games, and this one is really fun. And I also like games that sort of balance, too much information with not enough information. This is a really cool game, and I look forward to playing it again. Star Wars: The Deck Building Game. In many ways, this is the Star Wars version of Star Realms. It's a one-on-one deck building game. An interesting aspect of the game is that you can either buy cards for your side or you can destroy cards for your opponent. And this prevents them from being able to get those cards themselves. This was a cool game, even though we did get a rule wrong. Once we changed the rule, it made the game a lot better, and I look forward to playing it again. Twilight Imperium. This was the fastest 6 hours of my life. I've been wanting to play this one for a long time. I feel like it's kind of one of those games that a lot of people getting into board gaming, feel like they got to try, even though it can be a bit intimidating. But I did my homework and I studied and I learned most of the rules, and then I got there and I realized we were playing with the expansion. So I was taken a bit off guard, and through the majority of the game, I was pretty lost, honestly, about a lot of the aspects of the game. But I tried to just focus on like 2 or 3 things and just kind of make my way through it and pick up what I could pick up throughout the game. But it was very enjoyable. And I didn't really appreciate how important the timing is until the end of the game, because you're restricted as far as like how many points you can score each round. So you might, end up having the ability to score like 4 points in a round, but you're not going to be able to score all those points. So timing is super important in this game. I would play this game again without hesitation, especially if it was the same group of people that I played with this time. And this is a group of people that I've played board games with before, and they also have a podcast called Ask the GMs. If you're interested in D&D and podcasts, then I say go check it out. I'll leave a link down in the description. And these are all the games that I played this month, March 23. I hope that March has been a great month for you, and I hope that April is even better. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like.